Welcome to Midlife Matters. I'm Marie, and each week I'm joined by my friends Julie and Mindy to talk about all the topics keeping women in the middle years up at night. Today we're talking about my favorite season, fall. The air is more crisp, the leaves are turning, and we're thinking warm and cozy thoughts. Join us as we share how we welcome fall with all five senses. You'll find yourself excited to embrace all the sights and sounds of this special season. Let's get started. Listeners, it's that glorious time of year when the air starts to feel more crisp and you find yourself reaching for a cozy sweatshirt in the evening. And our thoughts are turning to pumpkins and mums and falling leaves and hot apple cider. We're moving into a whole new season, and this time of year requires a different mindset than the one we've had all summer. Can you feel it, Julie and Mindy?
Oh, it is glorious, and the fall is in the air, and I'm so excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the chilly mornings and evenings and a little bit shorter days, and we're starting to see a little color change, so I get really excited.
Right.
When that change comes around.
Yeah. And while some of us change really easy with the seasons, it's like effortless for us, others need a little nudge to get in the mood.
Mindy.
Yeah, Mindy needs a little nudge to get into the fall mood. So today we're talking about how to get in the mood for fall. It's not hard for me to do, but I really liked how today we're going to be talking about using all five of our senses to usher in this time of year, because I think I usually think of fall mostly being led in by sights around me, the falling leaves and the different decorations, but really thinking about our other senses, our sense of smell and taste and hearing and touch, that really made me evaluate, well, how do I incorporate those when I change seasons? So I think this is going to be an interesting topic.
Yeah, I'm really excited about talking about it from this perspective because it's really so much more than decorating, because I find that I'm doing less decorating these days. Yeah. And it's doing a lot of things that a lot of different things that help us kind of tune in to the season.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's dive into the sight part, because I do think that is what we notice first. And what changes do we make in our homes and our lives, to our wardrobe or, just whatever. Maybe we put some decorations on our car. Some people actually decorate their cars for the season, so who knows? But what kinds of things do you do in your home or your life that appeal to your sight when you're thinking about fall? And I know that one of the first things that comes to mind for me is all the mums that people put out on their porch steps and their front porches. And I just love seeing that. I went to Lowe's yesterday, and there are so many varieties you can choose from.
Yeah, that was the first thing I was going to say. I admittedly have been not excited about fall, but something happened this week. And I finally went and I bought mums, and I got them not only for my front porch, but for my back porch, because usually I think, I just need to, have a nice entrance. Well, now I'm like, but I actually want to see those on the back porch too, because we do so much outdoor living here. Everyone in the house was cheering when they saw that Mom finally went and bought mums, and they're just so beautiful. I mean, they really are.
Mm-hmm. There's so many colors.
Are. I just don't have great luck with them, so I'm more of a pumpkin girl because I know they'll last till Christmas.
That's so
and
funny,
I thought
Julie.
of you, Mindy, because I tend to go with more white pumpkins or those kind of bluish green pumpkins.
Yes.
Because orange just doesn't go great in my house with the colors. But Home Depot had bright lemon yellow pumpkins, Mindy, and I thought, Mindy could use these. Yes. Have you ever seen a yellow pumpkin?
No. Is it real?
Yellow. Yes.
It might be like a cross with a squash or something.
Yeah.
I am going back. I just came from Home Depot. I'm going back. Julie, thank you for that.
I know. I thought you'd like that.
Yeah.
But I don't do as much decorating, but for fall, especially inside, because like I said, the orange just doesn't go with my color scheme, but I never leave off my front door. Like every season I change something on there, and it's gotten simpler and simpler over the years. I have these blue and white ginger jar hangers, like wood cutouts.
Mm-hmm.
And now all I do is change the ribbon on them. So I had like a pink and white gingham bow with a little hydrangea bloom tucked in.
Oh.
I just pulled that off and put kind of a dark orange with a little bittersweet twig tucked in it. So that's all I have to do.
That's beautiful.
much easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I see some people decorate their mailboxes, and I mean,
Yes.
they really go all out.
So you mentioned cars. The other day, Bryce and I were working in the yard, and somebody came and stopped at the end of our driveway. And I wasn't sure who it was at first, but I noticed their car first because it was a Jeep. They had the top, open and the sides off and everything, and they had a skeleton attached to the front of their Jeep. And I joked that was the timeout chair.
Right. Yes, I have noticed several skeletons in yards as I walk the dog, and the dog was actually growling at like a 15-foot one the other day.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
But yeah, I mean, this is the time of year when not only people start to put out their fall decorations, but they also put out a lot of Halloween decorations. So if you have smaller kids, this is a fun time of year to have them out because there's usually something new popping up every few houses that they're interested in.
Yes.
Yeah, I love to see the yard that just goes all out.
I know.
Every square inch is covered, and I think it's fun because I like to look at that, but I never want to do that.
I know.
That's
So I'm
how I
glad
feel,
that somebody does it.
It is so fun to see, but we can't do all that. But I love what Julie said, because that was something that I thought about, is that the things that I do now to decorate for each season have gotten simpler. It's kind of nice, like her just, changing the color of the bow or whatever, on the front door, that I feel like I have a small like tote box that has just a few fall decorations. And it's just like a couple of leaf garlands that I can kind of put here and there. I have a couple of little pumpkins. You can't live in Knoxville, Tennessee for any length of time and not totally embrace the color of orange.
Right.
So, so I do kind of have a fondness and a new love and respect for orange. And so I actually see myself incorporating that. Whereas before I would have been like, never any orange. And then I have a little sign that says, give thanks. And to me, I'm done and good with the decorating once that give thanks is up.
Yeah.
I definitely can appreciate all the decor. That I like to look at it. I even like to look at it in magazines or on Instagram, but I don't have to do it anymore. And I read a lady that I've started following. She said, the people that have the 25 pumpkins trailing down their front porch step with mums interspersed, and it's like I can appreciate that without having to do that myself now. So
right.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, and you know what works for your house. So I love all the mums going down the steps. But what's happened to me when I've tried that is we inevitably get like 95-degree days and all my mums burn out because I don't have a covering over the porch. Or we get like all this wind and rain and my mums are whipped off the porch and fall down a couple feet and break. And so either way, they never look the way I had planned. So I already know, don't try.
I know, and they're not, it's not cheap to do that. So I just can't justify it. So I thought, well, a pumpkin will live a little longer than.
Well, Marie has the mum graveyard going on. Maybe you're preparing for Halloween, Marie. But we did have to have a family discussion where I was told, Mom, not to buy the pumpkins too early because it is so warm down here. They're going to mold before Halloween. So you need to wait. So go ahead and buy the mums, but let's wait on the pumpkins. So I can't buy pumpkins just yet. I gotta
wait. Well, and I meant to look this up before we recorded and I forgot, but my daughter told me there is a trick that she read about on a blog, and I'm sure that anyone can Google it. If you want to buy pumpkins now, apparently you can wash or soak them in some kind of bleach and water mixture, which will then allow them to last.
No way.
Yes, and I meant to look it up for listeners and I forgot.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that, Marie, though, because we can figure that out. I mean, I'm just glad there's a way.
There must be something on the pumpkin that the bleach removes or does something to it.
Kind of mold or something.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And another thing you can do, which I have done, I love the look of mums coming down porch steps, but like I said, they never stay that way for long. But you can actually plant your mums right in your flower beds and they'll actually last longer and do a little bit better because they're not getting all dried out in the pot,
Yeah.
And they'll last
they
a
might
long
come
time.
back. They might come back next year.
I think I actually did have one that came back the following year.
They're supposed to be perennials.
Yeah.
It depends on where you live, but
Okay.
Yeah. So you might try just planting them right in the ground and enjoying them on your walkway up to your steps.
Good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you do that just you love to see in the fall? Anything else you do in your home?
I realized that I do a sort of fall cleaning, almost like a spring cleaning,
Oh, okay.
that I find myself like, because I'm getting ready to nest in my home for longer periods of time. Like we're spending more time. I even brought out my Lysol can. Like, I don't know, I'm washing the blankets, for the living room. But windows are very important this time of year. I'm noticing because you're going to be inside looking out a little bit more. And there's something about the glow of the sun that, first of all, shows you all the dust bunnies you've missed. But second of all, shows you spots on your windows. And so I want to enjoy looking outside if I can't be outside. So a lot of cleaning, windows, dusting, preparing to get cozy and snuggle in the house.
Yeah, I was going to say that too, Mindy, but I've been on this decluttering binge for about 2 days now. And I have a big pile down at the street. I have a pile going to Goodwill. And I just think of with the holidays coming on, it seems kind of like a full time. And I thought my house is already full.
Yes.
You've got people coming in, gifts coming in, decorations. Like I've got to find a place for a huge tree at Christmas. And so I just want to kind of clear things out. Like, 'cause I still want to be able to have a empty spot on the coffee table. So I feel like it's a good place to start kind of with a little bit more minimal stuff out.
And Julie, this might not be the place to bring this up, but maybe it is. I don't know. Talking about windows, how did I see on Facebook Marketplace you are selling the curtains that you put so much work into? You want free windows, I guess.
I do. Yeah. When I was decluttering one night, I was up till 1 a.m. doing this. And I said, I'm going to take down my curtains. There are these beautiful wool crewel curtains that I made probably 10 years ago. And I was just going to take them down to see if I liked the look. And by 10:30 that night, I had sold them.
I couldn't believe it when I saw them pass above my feet. I thought, I remember when she made those.
I sold them to the lady who cuts my hair. She goes, I want those. And
wow.
So when John got up the next morning, I was like, I hope you don't miss those curtains because they're gone. And the
Julie.
first day, I thought, it kind of looks like we've just moved in. That when you're used to something there. But now I love it because I was complaining that our house is kind of dark because we have that porch on the back, and it really lightens up the house a lot. So for now, that's going to stay. The windows are going to stay bare.
Yeah, and you don't need curtains there for like privacy because like you said, you have your porch.
No.
So yeah, that's really cool. I can't wait to see it, but I've been meaning to mention it to you, and when Mindy brought up windows, it jogged my memory.
Yeah, I did a whole little rearrange, so it was fun.
Yeah, so you really have been on a whole decluttering kick at your house.
Oh, yes.
That feels so good. Like
John just said, please don't go into my closet. And I even asked him, I said, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but do we need to keep this piano? He said, yes, we need to keep our piano.
Oh, no.
I was like, well, it's taken up a lot of real estate, and you hear me play the same 10 songs. Are you not tired of it yet?
I just texted Bryce, can I hire someone to hang the TV above the fireplace because I want to free up that spot?
I know.
And he tried to call me. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. I'm podcasting.
Someone's coming at 2:00 today.
He said, just hold that thought. Let's talk about it some more. I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah, John is literally afraid he'll come back and there'll be major things he cares about missing.
Oh, well, you can't move a piano out by yourself at 10:30 at night, so he can rest easy there.
Right. Yes. Physically impossible.
Years ago, I probably would have tried.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
I do love my piano. It's just, it does take up a lot of space, and
right.
I'm trying to weigh how much it gets used by how much it takes up.
Yes.
Right.
So. Yes. All right. Well, it sounds like there's a lot of different things that we do for our eyes. What do we do for our sense of smell? I feel like the most quintessential smell, I know a lot of people would say pumpkin spice, but for me, fall smells like cloves. Like if I smell cloves, I think of fall. What do you guys, what's your like most quintessential smell for fall?
Well, some of the scents I have going, because, I love everything to smell. All my products have to smell.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I do try to coordinate them in the fall, So I love the Mrs. Meyer's hand soaps and spray cleaners. And for fall, they have Mom and Acorn. And those are really good. And it's kind of a clovey, spicy scent. I am not one to buy the candle that says Granny's pumpkin pie. Like, I don't want a food smell necessarily. I just like something, I don't know, spicy or,
I have never once thought about matching my cleaning products to the season. This is a new concept for me, Julie.
The reason I'm saying that is I like to use Febreze and a scented dish soap. Well, Febreze is always like April fresh or fresh linen or April flowers or ocean breeze. And I thought, well, that doesn't go as fall. So I said, how disappointing that they haven't gotten on the fall bandwagon. So I looked in Target and their new, well, I guess it's new. It's a new scent called Wood. And it's just a woodsy, earthy Febreze scent. So I bought it.
See you buying that. Yeah.
So now I've got my scents all coordinated. Yeah.
Do you like the wood?
Yeah. I do. Okay. And then another product. Have you ever used Everspring? It's kind of a oxymoron there that it's a fall scent, but the brand is Everspring, but they have a clove and nutmeg. So I bought their dish soap.
That would smell good.
Yeah. It's not super strong or overwhelming, but it's just very fallish. So every time, I pump that at my kitchen sink, it just makes me think fall is here.
Oh my goodness.
That's so funny because I always buy unscented.
I know you do.
Laundry soap and like soap and all that stuff. So it's never even occurred to me, but maybe I should give a fall scent a try.
I'm glad Julie went first on this because she does way more than it sounds like Marie and I do.
I'm all about the smells.
My imagination to all kinds of things. No, I have one candle that makes me, and it's the same one every year. And it's literally in my cabinet. And I moved them from the other house because they're only half burnt.
Okay. They last for years.
It's just the Glade apple cinnamon. That is the quintessential smell because it's got the apple smell, but I'm more of a spicy too. So I love hearing about you guys with the little spice in there. It can't be too floral. Actually, I can't do a lot of candles in my house, and I don't burn candles except in the fall and winter because there's just something cozy about it. But I can't burn them for long because it like clogs our allergies. Like it messes with our sinuses. And so even with all these chemical free, I have bought all kinds of candles. My mom said we need to try the warmers because the little melts or whatever. That she said that those don't bother her allergies. So anyways, apple cinnamon is the smell and that's it. And you know those little brooms at the grocery store that you realize it's fall because there's cinnamon.
Yeah.
They're like at the front.
I love those. Yeah. I don't buy any, but I like to smell them.
My mom will visit and she will buy me a broom and like hide it on top of the refrigerator.
Oh, okay. Hiding is a good idea.
Smell the cinnamon. Because I'm not hanging the broom.
Because I always think, where would I put that?
No, just hide it. Or they have like pine cones, that you can put in a bowl. Yeah.
Right.
And you can get like a scented pine cone.
Right.
But no, like that's kind of it. That is the smell. The only other smell that I love is I start baking breads a lot more just because I want to smell them. So I think we're going to talk about food later, but breads came into my smell category because sometimes I will bake them just to smell it.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Well, maybe I just have more bad smells to cover up at my house than y'all do.
I don't think so, Julie.
Well, let's talk about our sense of touch and the texture changes that we might make. I actually make very few of these. When my kids were little, some of them, as it got colder, like to have flannel sheets. So I used to have like flannel sheets and regular sheets for that person's bed. And in the fall and winter, I would put the flannel sheets on. Sometimes I have some heavier blankets that I just put out like for around the couch, or I might get out my electric blanket and put it next to the couch, my electric throw. But I don't know if I do a lot of texture changes. Julie, maybe if you tell me what you do, it might spark some
Julie,
inspiration here.
tell us what we need to do.
I mean, this isn't that much, but I just brought out all my wool blankets, and most of them are plaid.
Okay.
So
That's a good
I
idea.
drape one over my couch because I have a brown leather couch, so it just looks brown. And this way I get a little color on the back of the couch. And then I drape one over each of the club chairs in our den. So every chair has a blanket. And then I have a little basket in the corner where I have a pile of blankets.
Okay, let me just stop you right there because, I'm picturing when I used to have leather furniture. Those blankets draped would have stayed the way I wanted them draped about 5 minutes. If you sat on the couch, the blanket falls against the slipperiness of are you forever having to make them?
Especially when you have a large dog that sits on the couch. And I go in and he's thrown the blanket and both pillows on the floor.
Yes, that's what I'm picturing will happen if I do this. But Julie, you are a warrior. You are gonna put out those blankets.
I just walk through every time I walk through the den, I pick up a pillow and a blanket. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, that's how she gets her squats in every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so go back to your basket with the blankets, yes?
So, I just have a basket with blankets that are a little bit older, like we could take them outside on the porch. We could sit around the fire with them. So, and then that's about it as far as textures, other than I can use this time to talk about this lady that I started to follow on Instagram. And Marie, I know you know who it is because you've mentioned one of her books before. She wrote The Cozy Minimalist.
Yeah.
Her name is McQuillan Smith.
Yes. Her first name's so hard to say that I wasn't going to try and do it.
I'm assuming that's right. McQuillan.
I think it's Michaelin, but I don't know. I think it was something about a son or something, but I could be wrong.
Well, I noticed she signed it MYQ like Mike. So maybe
I think it is.
Yeah.
But
okay.
The listeners, you correct us.
Yeah. Well, on Instagram, her name is The Nester. And so I did buy her new book, and it's all about seasonalizing your home for every season and then how to host and have it ready, to be hospitable. And one of the things she talks about is seasonalizing your home first before you ever decorate for like a holiday or whatever. And her big thing is going out and harvesting things from nature. So she brings in dried sticks or twigs in a vase, or dried berries, or a big branch with colored leaves on it, or pine cones or acorns or anything like that. And then she said, then you might just need one or two holiday specific items, like a jack-o'-lantern or your Christmas tree, and that'll be enough. And I thought, that is really a good idea. And then you don't feel like, oh, I'm decorating for one day. It's for that whole season,
I love that.
And I think you might be more willing to do it if you thought this is going to last from September through November. Because I don't necessarily want to put out a jack-o'-lantern today, It seems too early. And I thought about you, Marie. You said you don't like to store things. Because I know I have a huge storage system for all my decor, and I'm kind of slowly going through that and getting rid of it and just using natural things, what God has created, just bring it inside, So I really liked that tip.
I know.
I love that you
one.
said that. In the South, magnolia trees are everywhere. And so I actually just cut a big branch off my magnolia tree to put in this vase in the middle of my dining table. And I love it so much. It's kind of wild, but it's so the big glossy leaves and the color is just beautiful. But I'm going to try to use the magnolia leaves more throughout the season. But I love hearing that because then you aren't storing anything.
Yeah. And Mindy, I was going to mention magnolia because I think so many people think Christmas.
Yeah.
But they look good at every season. Like we used them in a fall wedding. They look great at Christmas. They look great in the spring. They're just a real classic design element. So if you're only thinking of them at Christmas, you're really missing out.
Love that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, that kind of leads us to maybe what we do that's more holiday specific, because Julie, you said you don't really want to put out like a jack-o'-lantern right now, but are there certain Halloween or Thanksgiving specific items that you do put out? I'm going to put this, I don't know if I have anything, but I hope that someday I'm going to inherit these carved pilgrim people that my mom puts out every year. So shout out to my parents, put me down for those.
I have some of those, Marie. That's what I put out for Thanksgiving. It's kind of simple. Like that's my one thing that comes out every Thanksgiving. And then I have a little gourd jack-o'-lantern. So it's not, it's real because it's a real gourd, but it lasts, forever. So I put him out on the back porch. So
yeah. It's funny that they have like personalized pronouns, him and her.
Yeah. Well, one more thing that I do is when my kids were little, I had special books that I would put away and bring out just at holidays. So I had a whole stack of Christmas books that we only read, during that season. And now on an adult level, I do that. And so for fall, I just put out my pretty copy of Jane Eyre. I think I've mentioned before, I like to read that in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
I probably won't read it again this year because I feel like, it was too soon.
It by heart.
But the cover is just beautiful. So it's just sitting on my coffee table. And that's one of the things that the Nestor suggested, like open a book to a pretty fall scene or something, that even that can be an element of decor. And I think I set out The Crucible and The Scarlet Letter. I mean, what
uplifting titles.
No, The Crucible is about the Salem witch trials. You can't get any more fall than that.
Well, I know, but you can get more uplifting.
I did put a poem book on my table. I have several poem books sitting in between, places.
Here is how lazy I am about fall decorating. So I was having book club last night, and it's out on our porch, but I thought, well, people might pass through to go to the bathroom, so I need to straighten up the living room. So I'm like, oh, this Country Living magazine has a pumpkin on it. Throw it on the coffee table. Decorated.
Way to go, Marie.
So I'm not getting out copies of pretty books. I'm just like, does this magazine match fall? Lay it out.
Well, my mom used to change out her pillow covers.
Oh, good idea.
She would just replace, or put like a cover on her couch pillows to make, more seasonal changes that way. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like in the South, I'm not going to be doing much to our beds or to anything else. We're not going into like a heavy winter. Yay. But like, I am going to put like the blanket at the end of the bed, to cover just your feet. But otherwise, I mean, we would be hot if I changed out our bedding. Yeah. So,
well, and the pillow cover idea is so good because you're just storing the covers. Mm-hmm. You don't have to store whole pillows.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's a great idea.
It's so funny because I bought 4 new pillow covers last fall with the intent that I would then replace them in the spring, but I just ended up leaving them on the whole year. So it's just so funny. And I didn't do like a fall pattern, but I did more like a furry texture. But then I was like, no, this works for what? It's already June? We'll just wait now.
Well, there's your texture, Marie. Fur is a big thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like I bought them last fall to add texture, but then I never ended up switching them out for spring.
So you just wait long enough and it comes back around.
It's true. Right. It's totally true.
All right. Well, there is something that our family does. And I always mention this, but we always have a thankful tree that starts the day after Halloween. And we go through the month of November. And so I think I told you guys I had to get rid of my 3 Christmas trees, like the big Christmas trees when we moved. And so just last week, I finally found a tree and bought a new Christmas tree. It should be here today. Oh, wow. And I'm so excited because I usually will put the Christmas tree up the day after Halloween, and then we have our fall leaves that we put on it. And so I am already planning for that, but it's gotten simpler. I was kind of glad I got to rebuy a tree because I used to have that 12-foot thing that I'd have to get the ladder and secretly I was not sad when I had to get rid of it because I did not buy the same thing again. Again, with allergies, we always do a fake tree. I found a great one. Actually ended up going with Amazon, but it's skinny. It's 7.5 foot. Like
perfect. You can do it yourself.
Yes, it's very doable. And like Julie said at the beginning, I think everything is just getting simpler. So
yeah,
it just makes me laugh. Do you remember when your grandmother finally went to the tabletop tree?
Yes.
I feel like that's where we're headed.
My mom only does that Charlie Brown tree some years
Yep.
with like the one branch or the two branches and one
Yes.
ornament.
Uh-huh.
And I used
Yeah.
to never understand, like, what is with you? Like, why wouldn't you be into Christmas when you're 85? You know, why are you just doing this little tree?
Why aren't you on a ladder, Grandma? Hanging
Yeah.
stuff on that tree.
I just didn't get it. Now I do.
Right. Well, let's talk about our sounds and our hearing. Are there any movies or TV shows or music that you guys like to watch or listen to in the fall? I had 0 for this question. There's nothing that I rewatch or reread that's fall specific, but I'm interested in what you guys have.
Oh my
You don't
goodness.
think Gilmore Girls in the fall?
I
Ooh,
don't. I
that's a
mean,
good
if
one.
I think of Gilmore Girls, I picture them with coffee and cute scarves and,
True.
but I don't think of rewatching it in the fall.
Oh, that theme song. I love that theme song.
Yes.
And I think
And-
because maybe the first time I watched it was on my porch in the fall. So it just makes
Okay.
me go back to that. And I just like anything set in New England, and it's such a picturesque town. It seems like it's always
Right.
perpetually fall there, you know.
I guess if
Mhm.
there was one movie I would watch in the fall, it's Marley and Me, because I love where they end up living. Is it in Vermont?
Oh.
That's
Yeah, I
so
think so.
fall. So that would be the only
Oh,
thing I would
wow.
picture. But what else? I don't know.
I remember the Titans for me, because you got to have some football. in the fall.
Yeah, that's a good
And
idea.
that's one of my favorite movies. Is Remember
It's such
the
a good
Titans.
one.
And if you want something a little spooky, The Village is great. Have you seen that?
Is that a movie?
I don't think I have.
Mhm. Oh my gosh!
No, what is it?
Okay, you both have to watch it, and I can't tell you anything about it.
it black and white?
No.
Okay,
Marie.
good. Because I'm not watching it if it's
Good.
black and white.
It is an excellent movie. I'd love to see what you guys think about it, because it's
Ooh.
one of those you can only watch one time.
Oh,
The
okay.
Village.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I say that I could watch,
But
it
yet
again in
you
the fall.
rewatch it every fall.
Well, no, I don't rewatch it. I just think about it. Like if you haven't seen that movie, it's a great fall movie.
Okay.
Mm.
How about Children of the Corn? Is it similar to that?
Oh
That's
my
what I'm
gosh.
thinking.
It's not like horror at all. It's
Okay,
a very
okay.
cleverly done movie. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there are corn stalks. You know, that's kind of
I
fall.
know, that's what I'm thinking.
Forget about all death.
Halloween and Chucky. And,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
no, those aren't my kind of movies.
There is one movie that I have to watch every fall. In fact, I called Abby a couple weeks ago and I said, hey, I am dying to, it's time. It's time for the movie, but I am going to wait until you come. So Abby's going to come visit me for a couple days. And one of the main reasons is so we can watch You've Got Mail.
Oh, I love
It is
it.
my fall movie. Every fall, we have to watch You've Got Mail. And something else that I noticed that I was craving was Harry Potter. We've pulled the books out. My son is rereading. I think I'm going to start rereading them. I literally put on one Harry Potter movie every single day last week. I was kind of doing other things, but the music, like listening to that theme music is so beautiful. And just was like the sound of fall. Of listening to their British accents and hearing the theme music and everything. And I just love Harry Potter. So
Yeah.
Harry Potter,
One night in
You've
2020, we built a fire in the fire pit and drug our big screen TV out there in the backyard and watched a Harry Potter movie.
did you?
It was so fun.
Oh,
Yeah. We've watched those in a marathon kind of setting twice now, or 3
Yes.
times. So
mhm,
I'm sure we'll do that again. And I do love any movie set in New York City in the fall.
mhm.
So that's what makes, I think, You've Got Mail so
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, You've Got Mail. I think it appeals to everyone our age. My girls went somewhere where they showed it, and I said, "Oh, you're going to love it." And then when I picked them up, did you love it? Oh, that was the
what are you
worst
talking about?
movie, Mom. Why do you even like that? It just didn't translate to them, I guess.
Kids don't understand dial-up internet.
No. And maybe
You've Got
Meg Ryan wasn't as cute to them, but she's adorable to us.
What's up with that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Do either one of you make playlists for the seasons?
no. I have not done that, Julie, but how would you decide if a song is fall or not?
Well, it just either maybe it came out in the fall when it originally came out, or it has fall in the title, or it has, like, I love George Winston, and he has an album for each season. So
really?
He has an autumn playlist. But thanks to you, Mindy, I now have Spotify Premium, so I can share my playlist.
Oh,
it's interesting.
So could listeners find it then? They could find your fall playlist? Okay, great. What's it under, like Julie's fall playlist?
I think it's fall 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll share it. But,
okay, awesome.
And a lot of them, you may think this has nothing to do with fall, but it's either really a happy song that I enjoy driving down the road in my little Mini Cooper with the windows down, or it could be a very melancholy. Like, to me, that's what makes a fall song. So, it's not all just that it would ring true for you in the fall, but it does.
Right. So. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
You're going to be sorely disappointed if you look at my playlist. They're all about my workouts. So there's like hip hop and pop and stuff like that. And I've really done my best to find the clean versions of these songs because I've realized I've only heard the radio versions. And on Spotify Premium, I'm having a hard time finding clean versions.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
So you may not want to look at my playlist.
Okay.
And is everything like twice as fast? So
what is Mindy listening to? No, it's for my workouts.
Well, let's talk about taste, because I know we mentioned earlier in the episode how much food plays a role. And I just made my first crock pot of chili last night. So fall is officially here. What do you guys make that signals fall?
Chili and soups are probably the big one. I mean, I've made chili, and then this week I did homemade, like a vegetable soup, beef vegetable soup.
That sounds good.
So yeah, that's usually kicks everything off. But
I really go to town, and I bought a box of Swiss Miss packets.
It's hot chocolate season.
At the request of my son. So I bought Swiss Miss. Yay! And then
Mindy, I wasn't even laughing at that. I was thinking, yes, that's what people should do. But I guess some people might be elevated above Swiss Miss.
I'm sorry. Just compared to Julie, I do feel like I'm slacking. Majorly slacking.
And I would have the hot chocolate year round. So.
Oh, yes. My mom does too, Julie.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had to buy Swiss Miss, and then I just bought all these different flavor of quick breads. And so, like I said, I love the smell of making bread. And the other day, something that I ask my family a lot is, what was your favorite thing about today? And the other day, Jacob literally said, I loved the bread that you made. I was like, that's your favorite thing today? So guess what I'm going to be doing?
I am making that bread until you tell me to stop.
Over and over and over. So I even went to Walmart, and Walmart actually did a really great job with this the other day. I was stunned. But they always have the stuff in the middle aisle, like the seasonal baking things. And so in the fall, I noticed they actually had a lot of new things in that seasonal area. And so I typically only do a Walmart grocery pickup, but I happened to be in there the other day, and I was really glad that I was, because I found some great quick bread mixes that I haven't found before. And of course, they're still reasonably priced, and they're very good. So way to go, Walmart.
I'm going to have to check that out, because I do like to pick up some new fall things. And a lot of times a store end cap or something like that will make you get inspired.
Yeah.
I did buy a can of pumpkin and a cake mix, Mindy, to try your pumpkin muffins.
Nice.
They were really good. And
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I was even like, I would just kind of reheat one a day and put a little butter on it. It was so good. And they're filling because of all the pumpkin.
Yes. Listeners, if you're wondering what we're talking about in our Aldi episode, last week we talked about a 2-ingredient muffin that Mindy shared. So go back and listen to that episode, or check out the show notes for that. Okay, let's move into some fall activities that we get excited about. My daughter, my oldest, she's already said, when are we planning our annual trip to the pumpkin patch? So, my kids are still excited about that. So that is something that we will do. And this year I'm excited because we are going to the beach in the fall, which I have not done. My girls are seniors, and we have not been to the beach in the fall. well, in October when you can actually still really use it.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been since they were in first grade. So it's a long time. And I'm really excited for an October beach trip because it has a different feel, I think, than a summer beach trip.
And it really is the best time to be there. It really
That's
is.
what everyone says. So
the water's beautiful. You're
it.
not blazing hot. It's just perfect.
Mm-hmm. So I'm really looking forward to that. And we're going to be spending a week. Our school system actually has a week-long fall break again for the first time, I think, in forever. And so we skipped our summer beach trip so that we could go in the fall this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I really wanted to try it out.
That.
Yeah. So what are you guys excited about for this fall?
Well, our house is full-blown football. And we happen to have moved to a town that is all about football. And so I feel like everything down here, there's so many different parties to go to, games to go to. That is the talk of the town is football. And so that fits right in with us because we love that. But the other thing that we are doing is, unfortunately, we are not planning any fun trips for fall break. We are planning a major landscaping project in our front yard for fall break.
Okay.
We are cultivating our land, which is something that I said I love to do. We happen to have a yard that we're going to redo the whole front yard. We're taking out trees and we're going to be planting other trees. And so it is a good time of year to plant trees, shrubbery, things like that. And so that's kind of what we're doing with our time is settling our house one step further.
Okay, that's great. I can't wait to see maybe some before and afters of that, Mindy.
We did take before pictures because this is such a major ordeal. But again, it's for us. Like this is how we want to live in the house. And it makes a big difference if you like when you drive up to the house or not. And I've even ordered matching front porch furniture. So a porch swing and 2 rocking chairs. And so we're totally going Southern. We are embracing all of the Southern down here with the magnolia trees and the porch swing. And I'm excited.
One of your kids is going to take up country music writing. And
I tell you what, between Tennessee and Georgia, it's all about country music. But I can't tell you how many times Bryce is like, I really need a truck. I really need a truck. Like seriously, everybody
especially if you're doing major landscape
truck. Yes, because it's really my minivan that ends up getting used. The minivan that we will never be able to get rid of.
You're going to need some good deodorizing, smelly things in your van now.
Yes. One of my favorite places to go in town is the car wash that you drive through and they do the whole inside and outside for like $15. I'm like, you can't beat that.
No.
I'm there every couple weeks.
Yes, for sure. So speaking of landscaping, we did want to just touch on what we might do in our yards in the fall. And at first I thought, well, I don't really do anything. But this weekend I actually did get my husband to go out and trim all the bushes and then I'll do the rest. So like I got all the clippings out. I trimmed back all my roses. My hydrangeas were just weighed down. So I cut off a bunch of branches so they weren't so heavy. I felt like I just really cleaned it up out there. And then I went and bought some mulch and I'm going to mulch it. And like, I don't know. I think I'm going to feel better going into spring with having that kind of thing done.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's not a fun thing to do in the fall because, it's not like spring where you can't wait for all these beautiful flowers to bloom. Things are dying and you think, well, what is there really to do? But you'll be so glad in the spring when things are like ready to go,
Right.
And so that's, it is a good time to plant bushes and shrubs because it's a little cooler, but the dirt's still warm.
Right.
And around here, it's going to get plenty of water. You probably won't even have to water it.
Right.
And one of the things I do is take out, like I have window boxes and some pots on my porch, and these flowers will bloom till Christmas. I mean, if I let them, or till frost.
Nice.
But my pink and red geraniums don't really go with my orange pumpkin or my Christmas decoration. So I'll end up pulling those things out, and then I just go ahead and put my ceramic or clay pots in the garage because I've had them crack and freeze, freeze and then crack. So it's good if you just put them away and then in the spring, everything's ready to go. And Another thing, I love tulips in the spring.
Mhm.
And every spring I think, these are so gorgeous. I want these, but I don't ever think about them until the spring. And you have to think about them now.
Right.
And that's really hard to do because who wants to plant something you're not going to see till next year,
Right.
Yeah, I didn't
So I
even
never
think
do
about
it.
that.
I'm not making any promises, but that's my goal is to get some tulips in the ground so that
This
I'll
is the time
have
of year.
Yeah.
I want to do that too, Julie. That sounds really
Yeah.
neat because
Or
I
crocus.
do
I mean,
love
there's
that.
lots of
Yeah.
bulbs.
Yes. Yes. All the daffodils.
Yes.
And now is the time of year when you really want to weed and feed your grass. You want to have it fertilized to get through the winter. But something else that we do is we typically wait for the leaves to fall, like until they're pretty much mostly gone. And then that's when we do our mulch and stuff like that to kind of hide all of the dead that happens. So you have a clean foundation. You get the grass really fertilized, you clean up your beds, clean out your gutters on your roof. And actually down here, we're going to end up having to have our house pressure washed like once a year because there's just enough humidity that like different things like to grow on the exterior of your house, to include mold. And so I've just found a company that basically once a year, after the leaves have fallen and we're kind of done with the yard work, so we're not kicking up more dust, I'm going to have the house cleaned. And then I'll feel like it's ready to kind of go into the winter and just, try to look as pretty as possible, because nothing else is happening. So the things that are there, I want them to be clean and neat and organized and,
No, that's a great idea. Yes. And like you said, it makes a difference.
Another good thing to do this time of year is we reseed our lawn.
Yes.
So you can do it in the spring, but then it's going to only have a few months to live. So we reseed it in the fall with more like a winter cool weather grass, and then it's green all year long and all up until the hot part of summer.
That's right.
So I used to do it myself because I borrowed my neighbor's aerator, but they moved. So now I just hire it done. So if you're going to do that, you do need to get on people's list because they get busy. So
and we'll go ahead and say you need to winterize after you reseed and fertilize. Then before the first frost, you need to then winterize your sprinkler system if you have one, so that it doesn't freeze in the winter.
Yeah, I wish I had one.
Julie is for 22 sprinkler years. System.
Yeah. Well, there is a lot more to do outside than we initially think of, and it really does make a big difference for how we feel about starting spring out. So those are all great ideas. Well, one of the things that we wanted to do this week was to ask listeners to join us in kind of switching to a fall mood, and Julie had an idea for this.
Yeah, I saw some other Instagrammers doing this, and I thought it looked like a fun idea. If you follow us on Instagram at Midlife Matters Podcast, we will post today with details of something that we thought might be fun. So just be on the lookout for this post. It will be a list of things that we would love to see you, our listeners, post each day over the next week. And we will ask you to post something different each day. And just remember to include the hashtag Midlife Matters Podcast so that we can see them. And we just thought it would be fun to give this a try and see how it goes. And listeners, it doesn't matter if you post on the wrong day or you don't even get started till day 5. Like, it's okay. Like, we just want to see all of your fall inspiration.
Yes, because I know that I might not have any ideas on my own, but if I see someone else, I'm like, oh, well, I could do that.
Yes.
Yeah, or by the end of the week, you could post all 5 days at once. It doesn't matter. We just want to see your stuff. So
yes, I definitely want to do that. All right. Thank you for putting that together, Julie. And I think that'll be really fun. All right. Well, before we go, let's get to I'm a Fan. All right, Mindy, what are you a fan of this week?
All right, I'm a huge fan of a quick bread mix that I found at Walmart. I wanted to name one specific one because it got rave reviews at my house last week when I made it, and I had never found this flavor before. So it's literally the Great Value brand by Walmart, and the flavor is orange cranberry.
That sounds good.
It was so good. Now, the only thing that I added to the top is a little glaze that you can make yourself with powdered sugar and just a tad bit of milk. But this orange cranberry bread, everyone loved it. It was eaten quickly. That was Jacob's favorite thing about that day, was that I made that bread.
That's awesome. That's a big endorsement, Mindy.
Yeah.
We'll definitely put a link to that in our show notes. Julie, what are you a fan of this week?
Well, I'm a fan of the book I mentioned earlier called Welcome Home. I don't think I mentioned the title. It's Welcome Home by Michael N. Smith, AKA The Nester on Instagram. And it's a book about creating a seasonal home, and it's about the art of hospitality. And it's filled with really doable, simple ideas to make people feel welcome in your home all year long.
Yeah. And, I would have normally looked at that book and thought, ooh, it's about seasonal decorating. I don't really do that, so I wouldn't be interested. But after hearing you describe it, I actually think I would be more interested in the book. So thanks for sharing it.
Yeah, it's less about decorating than you think.
Yeah. And I've certainly enjoyed her other books. So that's great. Well, I do love to watch a good show, really any time of year, but especially in the fall. And so I wanted to share a show that Steve and I watched, and Maddie and Davis watched at their house, and Abigail and Nick watched it. We all agreed it was really good. And it is, I think it was, and maybe still is, the number one thing on Netflix. Have you seen Clickbait come across your screen?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, this is about an improbably perfect husband and father named Nick Brewer. He's held hostage, and he's holding a series of signs. One says he abuses women. Another says that if the video gets to 5 million views, he will die. And his sister and his wife and the rest of his family are freaking out because you can see the tally on the video going up. I mean, it's going to get to 5 million. And the video goes viral, and it's just about figuring out who kidnapped him, how it went down. There's tons of plot twists. It's really good. I think it was 7 or 8 episodes, so you're not in for like 20 episodes here. We watched it over the course of, a week. But anyways.
Is it a comedy?
Wow.
No. Is it funny?
Oh, no, okay. It's not funny. It's about a kidnapping and kind of like
I thought maybe
mystery.
It was. Okay.
Yeah. And no, it is so good. You really, really holds your attention. So check out Clickbait on Netflix. Even just the title is kind of clever. So if you want to cozy up and watch a good show on Netflix, Clickbait is a good one. Well, listeners, we hope that you have enjoyed this episode and you are feeling more fall inspired. I know that I am. I can't wait to maybe see what I have just naturally around my house or outside that I can bring in.
Yeah, take a walk in your yard. I bet there's some good stuff out there.
I know. I want to see a picture of Marie's Country Living magazine on her coffee table for her fall decor. I'm hoping she shares that next week.
Yeah, one day, one of the shares is show us what your table looks like. So there you go.
Actually,
you got your first picture.
I had it layered with my Real Simple fall magazine, so there were 2 together.
Ooh, that's even better.
Oh my goodness. Well, hopefully I'll get more inspired. I may even buy a fall cleaning product. Who knows? I could get really wild.
Wow.
Yeah, we can compare scents then.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you guys next week.
All right. Happy fall.
All right. Bye. We're so happy you joined us today. You can find the show notes for this episode at midlifematterspodcast.com. Also, please tell a friend about the show and help them hit the free subscribe button on their favorite podcast app. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Midlife Matters Podcast. That's where we post pictures and stories about all the things we talk about in each episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.